Welcome to Random Thoughts. Ray Sean Blyden here. We're going to be talking about a crime that was committed by a trans identified male right after the credits. Today's Random Thoughts is brought to you by Political Bomb Show Store. Go to politicalbombshow.com, click on Political Bomb Show Store, because obviously this person was a prison of the mind, prison of their own mind. We all can be prisoners of the mind. We have to fight through it. I've been trying out, what's his name? Jesse Lee Peterson. He has something he calls the silent prayer. You should look it up, silentprayer.video. And he talks a lot about this, actually, about our thoughts. And it's good. I haven't been consistent with it, but you should give it a shot and see if that works for you, because we all are prisoners of our mind. So go on to politicalbombshow.com, click on Political Bomb Show Store, and get this Prison of the Mind t-shirt. Let's talk about this. You always hear about crime when it comes to white people, particularly white male. But when you have a protected class, like they will protect myself because I'm black, they won't broadcast it like they would. And now the transgender, they're also a protected class. I'm still waiting for the release of the manifesto from that. I don't even remember the one who shot up the Christian school. I'm still waiting for that. Why are they holding them back? It's so. But the other guy, who I believe he was white male, you found everything on him. Just sickening. Pathetic. But anyway, let's get into this. Story here. Australia. This comes from Australia. Trans-identified male convicted of setting homeless man on fire and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. A male who identifies as a woman has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for setting a homeless man on fire after alleging the man had harassed him. Frederick James Fulford, 28, was sentenced to 9 years in prison at a district court in Queensland, Australia, yesterday, following a conviction on one count of malicious intent to cause grievous bodily harm at a jury trial held last month. The sentence was related to a horrifying attack committed in Townsville, Bulletin Square in March of 2021. Fulford, who was also homeless at the time of the Bulletin Square assault, had repeatedly been intoxicated when he committed the terrifying act. He had drunk most of a bottle of rum and some cask wine, and was also under the influence of marijuana and huffed gasoline. What is that? I don't know what that is. The prosecutor explained that Fulford was on the ground and holding a jug of gas, when the homeless man walked up to him and made a sexual remark. In CCTV footage displayed during the trial, Fulford was seen quickly jumping to his feet and dousing the man in gas he had been huffing. He then used a cigarette lighter to set him on fire. According to the Townsville Bulletin, the man ignited into a ball of flame and ran away. He was found a short time later and immediately rushed to the hospital, where it was determined burns covered 8 to 9% of his body. He spent 20 days in the hospital and had to get skin grafts to repair the third-degree burns he suffered, most of which were his back, neck, left arm, and left ear. The homeless man will have significant skin damage for the rest of his life. During sentencing, the court was advised that Fulford had a difficult upbringing and that he had begun taking hormone replacement therapy while in prison, which weakened him and left him open to attack from male inmates. Fulford apparently began identifying as a transgender at the age of 15. Judge Gregory Linham acknowledged that Fulford had a horrendous background as he sentenced him to 9 years in prison. He's not the only one who's had horrendous backgrounds. I've had horrendous backgrounds, but I didn't turn into a murderer or a killer or someone doing violent things to people. Noting that he had 5 previous convictions for primarily violence offenses prior to the attack of the Burlington Square. Local media reports, as well as the Daily Mail, referred to Fulford using she/her pronouns and identified him as a woman. Current details on the case suggest that Fulford was being held in men's prison, as well as he should, prior to his sentencing, but he may request transfer to a women's prison now that he has been sentenced. A lot of these things has been going on. I don't know if I talked about it on this show. I probably didn't, but a lot of men who are in prison are hip to the fact that they can go to a female prison by just saying that they identify as a woman, and bad things been happening there as well to the women. According to Women's Forum Australia, the state of Queensland, where Fulford was sentenced, has no straightforward policies on where to place transgender inmates, but individuals are usually accommodated on a case-by-case basis. Prison gender self-identification laws have become a significant discussion in Australia following a recent protest by female inmates against trans-identified male they were being incarcerated with. In Australia of 2022, female inmates at Australia's largest women's correctional facility, Victoria, launched a petition to have a trans-identified male sex offender removed out of fear of their own safety, and it's true. The women advised media that they had no prejudices against the transgender individuals, but were concerned for their safety as the transfer had a working penis and has history of violent sexual assault, as well. They should be concerned about that. According to the petition, after learning of the convict's transfer, the mental well-being of many of the women was severely compromised. They became visibly upset as they were triggered and traumatized. While the name of the transferred inmate was not released to the public, Redux determined that the details from the criminal's background mirror that of Lisa Jones, a trans-identified male who had been sentenced to 3 years and 3 months in prison for sexually assaulting a woman last year. During his trial, it was revealed that Jones also had a prior record for sexually abusing a 6-year-old girl in Germany. And they want to transfer this person. Oh, man. Australia. Why? I think I want to get out of I don't even have words. The words are hard to come by because YouTube. I gotta remember that this is not Political Bombshell, so I'm not able to fire off like I really want to here. Today's show again was brought to you by Political Bombshell Store. Go to politicalbombshell.com, click on Political Bombshell Store, and get your Prison of the Mind t-shirt. Prison of the Mind t-shirt. Don't forget, 10% off. 10% off. Just put in Rescue Dogs. And that's all we have. Leave a like, share, and subscribe if you are on Rumble or YouTube. If you are on Roku or Spotify, go to politicalbombshell.com, click on support us or Political Bombshell Store, and I will see you in the next one. Here we go.